AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Old School with DP and J.
And, this part of camp it happens in high school camp, when they have a certain amount of time before their game, before school starts and all that. And then it happens in college and it happens in the pros. I had more fights with some of my good friends, the guys that I'm considered lifelong friends at this point in camp, than with some, over-energized rookie trying to make a name for himself. Seriously.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot. Why wait until Friday to start your weekend?
Go ahead, start right now.
You're thirsty now, and 93.7 The Ticket is here to help you stock up.
Just in time for the weekend when I like to hit the clubs.
Time to broaden your horizons and try some new wine and beer. It's Thirsty Thursday with Kevin Meyer from Meyer's Cork and Bottle.
Oh, there's the pop.
There it is.
On a Thirsty Thursday. You heard it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are blessed to have a special guest. Actually, we've got two special guests. Remind me your name again on the ones and twos. Ellie.
Ellie on the board.
We got Ellie on the board. And so I've got Austin to my left, Stricky to my left, and
the coach.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
Barry Thompson.
Be
teasing.
I know you are a coach, but I also think of you as a chef.
Well, thank you.
In many stretches of the imagination, in all parts.
Cooking extraordinaire.
Well, any great chef will tell you that it's not about recipes, it's about techniques.
Yep.
And you chef not only with your food, but you chef with your quarterbacks, you chef with your music, you chef with your various other likes and entities. And I appreciate that about you, because a lot of things you do aren't next level, they're next level. And
wow.
And so no half measures when it comes to Coach Barry Thompson, and it's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Jack, thank you very much.
Raise that up.
Yeah, right here. Is it good?
Raise it up. Lift it.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
There we go.
We want to hear from
the Strix level. Now.
I had to make sure we can see your face.
Yeah, you can see my face, hear my voice. Kevin, thanks a lot. A pleasure to be here.
Hey, how was vacation?
It was outstanding.
You're glowing. You're radiant.
Well, it was more of a work trip than a fun trip, but we got everything we needed to get done, so that was a big deal.
Nice.
What you got for us? I see it's okay.
Strick and I were taking bets. I called white because it'd been a while, but you did bring the Strick red.
I brought a Stricky red.
Excellent.
And I know Coach Thompson loves all kinds of cuisine, international. And so this is very much an international wine, but I think we're going to do the beer first.
All right.
And since he's visiting us here in good old Lincoln,
and
America,
he likes beer.
Yeah.
He is a beer guy.
Yeah.
And it is.
I'm going to pull an East Strick. Let's just pile these up right here.
Right. Yeah.
Right here. Here. Yep. This is where we go. Yep. Perfect. You're
making me thirsty.
We're set. We're good.
If you're not familiar, the boys get alligator arms when it comes to passing.
How you doing?
Yeah. Thank you.
You're supposed to pass the Dutchie to the left hand
Did DP ever get alligator arms when you're throwing in the ball?
Alligator arms. No, he always teases me that I never pitched to him on the option. I constantly tell him his ball security. Get down the goal line, got to take care of the ball.
Right.
Don't want to take chances.
Wrist on you.
That's what I'm saying. Don't want to take chances.
You have fumbleitis.
Break it down for us. What we got, Kevin?
Okay. Well, in my efforts to remain topical, I also wanted to treat Coach Thompson to something local.
Okay.
And so this
called it. I said Nebraska.
That's right. So this is a a local brewery called Kincaidor, but they have a German wing where they have this line of beers that are done in traditional German brewing methods, what they call the German purity law.
Okay.
And essentially, beers can be made from nothing but water, hops, grain, and yeast, and that's it.
Okay.
And so when you boil it down to its least common denominator and its most finite ingredients, there's no cheating. And so that's where the real artistry comes through. And these are lagers. And so the yeast ferments at the bottom of the tank, and it has to ferment at a colder temperature, usually around 45 degrees, and can take up to 2 months to finish out. So,
wow.
But the thing is, the beers are relatively light. And so there's nothing to mask any mistakes that were made. And so that's why they're considered the more artisan style of beer, because it's sort of a less is more approach, right?
Yeah.
And so this is a traditional fest beer.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a German Oktoberfest. But there's basically two types of Oktoberfest. There's the traditional Marzen style where they roast the malts, and
that's good.
The beers take on a little more amber color.
Yes.
This is a traditional fest beer, which is just a classic German lager.
This is awesome.
And it's meant to be clean. It's meant to be crisp, but it's also meant to taste like fall. And that reminds me of football. And that reminds me of tailgating and brats and, and all that kind of good stuff. So,
Barry, not only are you the guest, but you're the beer guy. What's your take? What do you think?
No, this is great. And it's funny, with beers, I'm not really sophisticated, but I do know what I like. And I find myself drifting toward lagers. And you were talking about German. I kept thinking of a commercial. I kept thinking of like a Bach or something like that.
Yeah.
I like those, but this is really good. I could see why this is called a fest beer. You guys could see a little bit of sun, some pretzels, a little bit of spetzel, right? You'd probably swallow.
Can you do a brats with this?
Yeah, you could do. Yeah, I could easily. Yeah,
because throw a little kraut on there.
Yeah,
you bet.
Yeah,
a little brown mustard.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
This is really good. Really good.
Have you ever had a Runza?
No, I have. No, you know what? As I was driving here, I was looking for a breakfast place, and I wanted to go to Runza, but they didn't open up.
Not on.
No,
breakfast.
but I'm going to Runza.
You're going to be at the game tomorrow?
No, I'm not.
I mean, not tomorrow, but
no. I'm actually
Saturday?
leaving town tomorrow.
Go to Runza.
Yeah, but on my way, I'll hit Runza.
And then you gotta say that good Runza will go with this for sure.
Yes, actually.
Ellie, what's your take on the beer?
I like it. I'm not a huge beer drinker.
That's good.
This one's
for
approachable.
A beer that I would actually drink.
Nice. Very good.
See, that's the compliment of all compliments. I'm not a blank person, but I'd actually drink this.
Yeah.
Ellie,
which is pretty much what I said every week for the first 2 or 3 months we did this.
Yeah.
but hold on real quick.
Yeah.
Is this similar to the St. Ives Old English?
No.
Is it like that?
Tricky. In order for me to give that a valid analysis, I'd have to do them side by side. And
I had to take him back.
It's like, man,
he went back.
Next, you're gonna talk about the Mickey, the big mouth,
Big
Mickey.
All right.
Heck
No,
yeah.
this is
good though.
Good,
it's really good.
clean, and gosh, this is really good.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you did this too, because if I was shopping, I wouldn't, because a lot of it has to do with your marketing, display, and names. I don't know that I've been drawn to German beer, because in my mind, a German beer is a Hefeweizen, right, and some of those beers, and I wouldn't have naturally. But this is really good.
And the thing about like a Hefeweizen is those are wheat beers.
Yes.
And so they're going to take on that more cereally sweetness.
Right.
They're going to be a little more cloudy. They're going to be a little more filling.
Right.
Whereas this is more crisp and clean. And it's a traditional lager.
This is outstanding.
That's a crisp, clean can too.
Yeah.
I love that design.
They call it the Wolf, which reminds me of my.
What's their distribution like? Because I'm wondering.
I think they're pretty much Nebraska only, especially with this German line. But they do have a German beer hall down in the Haymarket.
I'm just saying a shout out to Total Wine and Beverage, East Coast. They need to pick up this beer.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Uncle Kevin knows some people.
Okay, thank you.
I do know.
He
a
knows
few,
some people who know
yeah.
some people.
The distribution part of packaged beer though is really a fickle mistress, because the profit margins are so low that you got to do a high volume to even make it worth your time. And so, I think they're smart that they're just kind of focusing local for right now. And then if it takes off, it takes off. But they have a really cool German beer hall down in the Haymarket, and they have a rooftop bar up above it, up on like the 6th floor. Great views up there, really good spot. You and DP should go check it out.
No, it's going to happen tonight. I don't know what DP had planned, but we're going there tonight.
Cool.
We need Myers Cork and Bottle in Memorial Stadium.
Woo!
We need a little side hole spot where you can just pull up and get it.
I wish I could do that.
They need to stop playing.
They have they have this thing. It's called an e-bid, and that's actually out for bid right now as concessions, alcohol concessions.
What?
Yeah, and
It's coming, Stricky.
But it's kind of an all or nothing thing, and I think it's a little too big for old Uncle Kev's britches.
Oh, dang it! They need to give a Uncle Kev discount. All the good stuff you be bringing in here.
This is outstanding.
What we got?
Let's
what's
go to the
red?
wine. So,
What's the red?
Coach, I know that you're not a real big wine guy, but give this.
He's stealing my wine, Uncle Kevy.
I know. He's like,
I'm going to tell on him.
Hey, spill the wine. Like,
Give him a spanking.
Isn't that Spill the Wine? That's somebody. What's that song? Spill the Wine. Edward, guy from War. You know the song a little bit. It's ringing your head. Spill the Wine.
It's in there.
Yeah.
But we're gonna drink the wine.
Google it. Spill the wine.
We're gonna drink the wine.
Spill the wine.
It ain't gin and juice. This wine.
Yeah.
This is not. This is an old world Spanish Rioja, and it's not just.
Look, Ellie lit up over there.
Strix pick.
Ellie, I'm gonna take you to a tapas bar. This would be great with this.
Yeah.
Strix pick.
Yeah.
So some paella, some tapas.
Yeah.
Oh.
A little pan con tomate.
Yeah.
Go great with this.
Oh.
A little sashito peppers.
Told you he was a straight up chef.
He's
Next
a
level.
connoisseur.
Yeah, I mean he might be speaking in hieroglyphics, but man knows what he's talking about.
We need to work out an NIL deal for Strix picks.
That'd be all right.
They come in and say Strix pick.
10%.
Yeah,
Break him off a little something.
I know. Anyway, go ahead. Talk to us.
Well, I was in Honduras a couple years back, and they have a traditional Honduran taco, and it's open faced, and their tortilla is more like a kind of a cross between a tortilla and a flatbread, so it's a little bit thicker.
Is it tostada?
It's called a baleadas.
Okay.
And then they would have.
And this is in Argentina.
This is in Honduras.
In Honduras.
Yeah. Really interesting culture because they have the big Dominican looking guys that all look like Big Papi. They're 6'4", 260. Then they have the Latinos, and then they have what they call the Creoles, which are the Creoles. And then they also have some people that are more Anglo, and then just a really cool mix of cultures and foods and whatnot. And but the traditional Honduran taco is a baleadas, and so you would get your beans, and you could get them either in a mole or like a full black bean, and then you chose your protein. So you could do fish, you could do conch, you could do shrimp, you could do chicken, you could do pork, and then just a little bit of cheese, and then a fresh pico, and then they would put some cilantro, maybe a little something else over the top, and you just ate that open faced. And I think something like that would go really well with something like this too.
This would be great.
But this is not just your straight Rioja. This is a Rioja Gran Reserva. And so there's essentially 3 levels of Rioja. Level 1 is what's called a crianza, which is the young Rioja. It's generally the younger vines. Doesn't see as much time in barrel. Then there's the Reserva, and that sees a minimum of 2.5 years worth of barrel and bottle age prior to release. And then this is the daddy. This is the Gran Reserva. And that is typically 4.5 years worth of barrel and bottle age. Woo. But the primo producers, the old school ones, will actually sit on it even longer than that. So this is a 2016 vintage, already 8 years old. And
I graduated high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
How about that?
I have shoes that graduated in 2016. But and so what's really cool about these Spanish Riojas is that they have that little earthy, little bit of smoky spice in the back end. They're not super heavy, but they're meant to be food wines. And a lot of times in that cuisine, you get a lot of paprika, you get a lot of cumin, you get a lot of fresh vegetables, and things are roasty and the wines. There's always a good reason why wines of a region pair well with foods of a region. So just like Coach was talking about. Rattle off a couple of those traditional Spanish.
We're talking Spain, not versus Central America, but pan con tomate is it's the simplest thing, which a lot of these cuisines you find out, just like the beer, the simpler it is in just putting the ingredients together. Pan con tomate is just taking a bread, toasting it, and then you take a piece of raw garlic and just rub it on the edges. The tomate is you grate it, right? You grate the tomato, and it kind of produces this kind of pulpy deal, and you can flavor it a little bit with like a shaved garlic, and that's just the thing. It goes on top of the bread, and then you can just drizzle a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of Maldon salt, and that's good. But a lot of times you add things to it, like manchego cheese.
Oh yeah.
So I'm thinking the manchego cheese with this and the pan con tomate, you'd probably go through a bottle.
Oh yeah.
And then you have your chorizos, your Iberian ham, all those types of things that go together. I won't do the pronunciation right, but the garlic shrimp that they ambajillos, I'll forget the pronunciation. Probably standard tapas type deals would just be delightful with this. Anything, if you think like anything you put in your hand, right, that you'd eat. And I was thinking tostadas was a little bit harder, but same idea, right? That you have maybe a little pico on there, a little bit of queso fresco, a little bit of cilantro, just that in itself. Take a bite of that, take a bite of this, you're good to go.
Does your wife just sit there and wait with the forks, like waiting on you to
the
just
joke in
pull
my
it out of
house
the
is
oven?
the joke in my house is that as the kids were growing up, my wife did the cooking. You got to get it on the table, get them out the door, and then since that time, I get on a run. Like I see a recipe I like, and I go, I'd really like to make that. I can kind of tell by ingredients. I said, that's going to taste good. And then I'm not really a chef. I'm good at following a recipe, which does involve technique sometimes, right?
Right.
And you learn these techniques, and
you learn what goes together, so you don't even necessarily have to follow it once you sort of learn that.
When you asked about me, I thought a lot about you because it's probably happened to you. Like you didn't know in the beginning, but you taste something, and once you start to understand what ingredients in there, even though it might be a combination, it's different. You go, you know what? Those two would go pretty good together. Like I'll give you an idea of the dish I tried the other day. I don't know the pronunciation. It's a Middle Eastern dish. A lot of it in Palestine, maybe Lebanon. It's made. And if I tell you there's pasta in it, you're good. You like pasta, right?
Facts.
If I tell you ground meat's in it, you like ground meat. Yes. If I tell you yogurt, you like yogurt, right?
Okay.
You like yogurt, right?
Okay.
And if I tell you there's garlic, you said, yeah, I like garlic on my food. Well, this is pasta with a yogurt garlic sauce and spiced.
So it comes off as a cream looking with the yogurt.
It's funny.
Color.
It does. You think about it separating. It doesn't. It forms this creamy kind of flavorful thing. The spice meat on top is what they call a 7 spice. In Middle Eastern households, they vary as to how they put it together, whether it's Israel or Lebanon and so forth. And then there's some parsley and some pine nuts. It's a beautiful dish.
Wow.
Come
on, big grill guy.
Yeah.
And
I'm down.
I got Kevin.
The big grill guy's taking it all in.
I can see Kevin's eyes are going like, what wine would go great with that?
Yeah.
But it's a great meal. Yeah.
You need to come hang out on my deck tonight, man.
I got one for you.
He'll be on the rooftop. Sorry.
I got one for you. I
All
just did this recently. It's a Greek thing. The Greeks have a different name for it when they make the salad out of lettuce versus cabbage. So this is a cabbage salad. I can't pronounce it. It has some lemon in it, some onions. It's a real simple salad to make. But the things that you put around it are the Kalamata olives and a little bit of the feta.
Yeah.
Right. So you have this kind of slightly tart salad that's crunchy. And then you have the creaminess of the feta. And then you've got that mellow kind of thing with the Kalamatas. I'll show you a picture. I made it recently.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and that feta has that little bit of sourness too, and then the lemon ties it all together.
See, he's doing
He's
it.
thinking.
No, I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
Yeah.
I'm having a Pavlovian experience.
Yeah. Uncle Kev, you did the thing once again. That's the Strix pick for sure. I need at least. I might need 2 of them.
All right,
next week.
You have my
I got your number. We're gonna text it up.
Yep.
Strix pick. What's the name of it, Uncle Kev?
This is called Campo Viejo Rioja Gran Reserva.
The old camp.
Yeah.
For
Campo Viejo.
Yeah, that's right. And for a wine like this, of this pedigree and history and heritage, and also age, to be on the shelf for under $30 is almost unheard of. But the Spaniards, I think, probably bring more value to the table in terms of bang for the buck than most other countries in the world when it comes to wine. And then the beer was called the Wolf.
The Wolf,
which comes from Beer House My Scholar, which
Yeah,
is
make it how.
the German side of Conker Brewing. Also reminds me of my favorite all-time movie, Pulp Fiction. He's like, "Oh, you calling the wolf?
That's right.
Well, you feel better? Bleep bleep." He said, "Yeah, bleep, yeah, bleep." Yeah. So
Why am I not surprised to hear your favorite movie of all time is Pulp Fiction? Like that just makes too much sense right now.
It does make too much sense. Yes, absolutely.
It's perfect. Hey, if you want to be classy Husker fans, you pick up your alcohol for Saturday, your libations.
Myers Cork and Bottle. It's on your way downtown to the stadium. Come down 13th Street. Come see us. We'll take good care of you.
As you take care of us. As always, Kevin, we appreciate it. Thanks for coming in.
I appreciate you, fellas.
We'll go to break. Old school DP&J after this.
School with DP&J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com, serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog, a cat, or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Nebraskans are proud of their public schools. Hi, I'm Tim Royers. As a Nebraska Teacher of the Year, I traveled across the state and saw the value public schools bring to our communities every day. They're where our kids get the skills and opportunities they need to succeed. They're where families come together to enjoy a musical, cheer for our teams, talk with teachers, and build trusted relationships. Strong public schools create strong communities.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
If you're looking for tickets to the Colorado game, 93.7 The Ticket has you covered. There are 3 different ways to win one of 4 pairs of tickets. 1, like our 93.7 The Ticket page on Facebook and share the post. 2, follow our 93.7 The Ticket account on Twitter and repost the announcement post. 3, come on down to 1040 O Street, buy a drink from the mill, and enter your name in the box. All drawings will be done at noon on Friday. Get entered now.
For 15 years, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering you 50% off our next 10-week challenge beginning September 14th. That's 10 weeks of fun group fitness classes and individualized coaching for half off. And at the end of the 10 weeks, someone's walking away with $1,000 for the best transformation. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine. And check us out online at fxblincoln.com.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the Ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? Happy Thursday, Thirsty Thursday, Eric Strickland holiday. I call it the Eric Strickland Open. We want to thank Kevin Meyer Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, always coming in, spreading a wealth of knowledge, and obviously had good, always have not good, but great libations. But we are old school. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, got a special guest in here. My man Barry Thompson. We were getting into it yesterday at a good way, picking his brain. But he's sitting in for old school for a couple segments. We are brought to you by the Mercado, certified Piedmontese. Special ingredients of Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andremat. Oh, I got it. Yeah, 168th and Maple up there in the O. Without further ado, Barry, I'm going to ask you just because I see this Nebraska Hawk starting to pick up. A little windy today. When you train quarterbacks, let's just, it doesn't matter if it's Shador or Dylan, but just obviously that's who's going to be on display Saturday night. And, we know you're out there in the DMV and you can get some wind. Talk about how you prepare your quarterbacks for different elements. It could be wind. It could be different types of rain. I always call it the gale force rain that comes in, or it could be a damp rain that's just damp. Talk about how you mentally and, I guess, physically train guys to deal with the elements.
Well, we make sure that during the improvement season that we get out in that weather. That's the first thing. And then secondly, I think when it comes to throwing through the wind, I'm not a scientist.
Right.
But there's a certain sequence that we teach quarterbacks to throw with, which is shoulder, foot strike, hip, elbow throw. So they're generating force from the ground and turning that force into rotational force. And what I found out is that when quarterbacks throw that way, they don't have problem in the wind. Now we're talking ordinary wind.
Right.
We're not talking about
we're not talking third. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But just ordinary wind, my quarterbacks have never had a problem because they're really not relying on their arm to generate the force. And that sequence isn't mine. That's all credit to Dr. Tom House, who has 3 PhDs in throwing, right? And so that's where it comes from. That's just somebody who's researched it and done it over again. So I just teach it. And what I've noticed is that my quarterbacks don't have problems in the wind. The rain is I make sure that we get out and train when it rains.
Right.
Where we are, I always tell the quarterbacks, important games where we are, and generally in life, are played when the weather's not really great.
Right.
So if you don't get out as a quarterback or a receiver and train in that weather, then you're kind of missing the boat, right? Because the weather just changes. It gets colder, the ball's cold. And so I think the combination of telling the quarterbacks how to throw and then the combination of getting out and doing it, it becomes less of a factor when they're actually faced with it because like anything else, I've done it before.
Right. And the one thing I was thinking about when we played Colorado when I was in school, we played, I think, Coy Detmer. And it was misty and cold and damp. but I always felt like when I saw him physically, he looked weak. And I think they're from Texas. So I think, obviously when everything's good, he had a pretty decent arm.
Right.
So I felt like when I watched him and I watched him in warmups, I felt like I could get a good break on him based on how he was throwing into the wind and he was struggling. Right now, I kept that in my back pocket, ended up working out well, get an interception, so forth and so on. But as I started to, go along in my NFL career, one of the things I used to always look for when I go against a quarterback is their legs.
Yeah.
Talk about the importance of that, because whether it's Tom Brady, and I remember I was able to hang out with Dan Marino.
Yeah.
And he said, look, he showed me his right arm, and obviously was extremely more physically developed than his left.
Right.
But he's like, I do leg work in the off season 3 to 4 times a week.
Yes.
Talk about that when you play quarterback, period. Forget the elements. Just talk about that and how it can help with consistency, accuracy, trajectory, and all the things we talked about yesterday.
It's everything. That rotational sequence that Dr. Tom House kind of laid out for Tom and for Drew Brees and for a bunch of other people is the way for rotational athletes to generate power efficiently. So we've all seen the left-handed batter that looks like he barely swings the bat and the ball shoots 400 feet. So the efficiency is the key part of it. And it is that shoulder, foot strike, hip, elbow, throw thing. I can't demonstrate for you here, but it's really the force for the throw, the velocity for the throw is generated from the ground.
Right.
And so when you get the dislocation between the hips and the top part of the body, that is the power being generated. And then it's stored temporarily. And then the top part of the body releases the power, right? And so that's how that goes. If you think of like a baseball hitter, we've seen that in the box, right? That's that picture where the bat's behind, both feet are in the ground, the hips are already forward, and the next thing is coming is the swing.
Yeah.
Well, if you take that pose in your head and you stand straight up, there's no difference between that and a quarterback position in the lower half, right? And so that's how power is generated. And so as long as quarterbacks learn how to throw that way, they will control the ball, right? They will have the velocity that they need. They'll have the distance that they need. And like I said, wind and elements won't really bother them that much.
Yeah, I always, me and DP, I always talk about one of the players I wish had a little bit more of that in his career earlier, so I can enjoy watching him play later with Cam Newton. Now Cam's injury came on running down an interception, but I felt like if he had the fundamentals down, because people don't understand, Cam had an arm.
No. Somebody brought this up recently. It's a little Instagram thing and said who has the best college season ever. And the guy, he rattled off a couple good ones like Reggie Bush's year, and he goes, Cam Newton, hands down, his 1 year at Auburn. And he had the highlights to back it up.
Yeah.
And Cam was a freak of nature. He worked with a guy named George Whitfield.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, and George was, for the audience, in the quarterback space, there was a period of time where George had the first quarterback taken in 7 consecutive NFL drafts,
right,
including, I think, 2 number 1 overalls.
Yeah.
George really knew what he was doing and worked a lot with Cam. And I think Cam went away from him at some point.
Yeah.
And may explain some stuff. But George is really, really good at what he does.
Yeah. And, when you talked about Tom House with it's pretty much you separate your lower body and your upper body.
Right.
Where Tom House actually, I was reading up on him just because his name came. I know I've met him before.
Okay.
And he's kind of like the mad scientist when it comes to throwing.
Yes.
He actually broke in via baseball. Pitchers, rehabbing pitchers.
This is how he came to my attention.
Right.
So the way he comes to my attention is in the 80s, and he's with the Rangers. And I hear that there's a baseball pitching coach who has his pitchers throwing footballs in the end zone. So I'm not a huge baseball guy, even though my brother's a great baseball coach. But that's the first time I landed on Dr. Tom House. I go, well, that's pretty cool, even though I didn't know what was going on. Then my next one was when I got involved in the Elite 11 circuit.
Sure.
And at that time, the principle was equal and opposite, that type of thing. And he was doing it. And then it progressed from there. And I kept latching on to him. And I think he even had a spinoff with the 3D guys.
Yes, he did.
Something like that, right? But his stuff for me has been like concentrate.
Right.
It's so easy to teach. and it's repeatable, and I can get guys throwing, as we said the other day, from A to B pretty soundly.
Right.
And the best thing about it, especially when they move up to college and so forth, they actually know their stroke.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of times you can get to college and it comes undone and you don't know how it's put together in the first place. Where my guys know.
Yeah.
Like, what's the sequence? It's shoulder, foot strike, hip, elbow, throw. Right? And no matter what words you want to use, and there's a lot of quarterback coaches out there who teach throwing fine. I promise you, if you break it down, it's going to come down to shoulder, foot strike, hip, elbow, throw.
Right. Yeah. Tom House is like he's a legend in that realm because you know how he actually helped. I think it was Kevin Brown with the Rangers rehab back. Is that he focused on back reverse hyper extension. So he wanted to get that kind of C in there, and that's where you got it. And then he went so he started with baseball.
Right.
Then he went to golfers.
Yeah.
To teach that the same way.
Okay.
You know. And then somehow, some way, after Tom Brady got hurt up in New England when he got hit, he got with Tom House, and that's Tom Brady will tell you that's how he was able to have his arm strength not drop off.
Right.
Even though the arm strength, I'm saying it's kind of talking about both. Even though the arm strength
it's not the arm. And there's an older article that precedes what you're talking about. Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Talking about when he first came into the NFL, he didn't know how to throw. And he says in the article, he's talking about the House kind of same thing. And he said, and there's a lot of people out there that don't teach this. And so you look at how successful he's been for how length of his career. He just changed it. And it changes over time because people get smarter about how it's done. Going back to the legs and things like that, it's also thrown as a lat dominant activity.
Yes.
So you literally are building your stroke and your strength from the ground up. Mistakenly, a lot of people will say, let me get a weighted ball or let me do this type of things. And what they don't realize is you can only throw as fast as your body can stop your arm, or else it would just fly off your body.
Right.
So a lot of times becoming stronger has to do with working on the systems in your body that break or stop your arm from moving, the deacceleration part of it. The stronger the better your brakes are, the faster your car can go, right? That type of thing.
Yeah, it's almost like when I was working on speed training, we'd run downhill as fast as we could to work on your brakes. So good segment there. We're going to take a quick break, come back with my man BT. We're going to talk a little bit Colorado, and then at the top of the hour, I want to pick his brain about the passing concepts that Colorado runs from last year to this year, because they put a lot of pressure on guys like myself, or used to on my guys like myself, and what you can do or possibly look at as a fan to see come Saturday. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Barry Thompson. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You've seen them come and go. Franchise testosterone clinics that pop up and then whoosh, they're gone. These franchise clinics quickly find out it's not easy to compete with Limitless Male. Limitless is locally owned and operated with a flawless protocol that has elevated them to be the best in men's testosterone replacement and sexual performance. By adding GLP-1s, our patients are losing weight in a healthy way. To feel your optimal best, schedule a free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Have you ever gotten a car deal so good that you can brag about for decades? This is that deal. The government has given us a $4,000 instant credit on vehicles already at the historically lowest prices. Cars that were over $50,000 just 2 years ago are now selling below $20,000. See the deals here and drive away the car of your dreams at a price you never thought possible. Go to 4000off.com, 400off.com to learn more.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through September 10th is spend $50, get 2 sirloins free, limit of 4. Also, 15% off chocolate. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. If you're looking for tickets to the Colorado game, 93.7 The Ticket has you covered. There are 3 different ways to win one of 4 pairs of tickets. 1, like our 93.7 The Ticket page on Facebook and share the post. 2, follow our 93.7 The Ticket account on Twitter and repost the announcement post. 3, come on down to 1040 O Street, buy a drink from the mill, and enter your name in the box. All drawings will be done at noon on Friday. Get entered now.
Nebraskans are proud of their public schools. Hi, I'm Tim Royers. As a Nebraska Teacher of the Year, I traveled across the state and saw the value public schools bring to our communities every day. They're where our kids get the skills and opportunities they need to succeed. They're where families come together to enjoy a musical, cheer for our teams, talk with teachers, and build trusted relationships. Strong public schools create strong communities.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a slight chance of showers and storms this morning. Otherwise, probably the mostly sunny skies expected with an afternoon high around 85. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low around 58. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies return. We'll see a high around 77. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clark for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
This week at Fairway Meat Market, there's a 2-day sale for Thursday and Friday, September 5th and 6th only. Enjoy 8-ounce all-natural St. Louis pork spare ribs for $1.99 per pound, all-natural pork butt for $1.68 per pound, USDA choice boneless rump roast for $4.88 per pound, and Fairway's hickory smoked bacon for $4.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
I can't believe I just scratched that card. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog, a cat, or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, DP Austin, or Jay Foreman, Austin, and my man BT Barry Thompson coming in from the DMV, quarterback guru extraordinaire. Got a quick segment, then we'll be at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. Barry, I wanted to ask you this. How many yards does, and this will be leading into the top of the 5 o'clock hour, how many yards does Nebraska got to kind of keep, now within reason? Now, if they throw it, I always tell people, listen, the team's throwing it 70 times and they throw for 500 yards, it's all relative, right? I mean, they're like empty yards. I call it
not good either.
Right. Yeah. It's Chuck. I call them Chuck and Duck.
Generally not good.
Yeah. So what, in your opinion, what range do you want to keep Colorado's passing attack, kind of down to?
Defensively?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I think it's more like a Jordan thing, right? Jordan's going to get his points, or LeBron, or whoever's going to get his points. I think what's really important is the scoring.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of times when people analyze defenses, you have all kinds of stats, but the big stat when you're playing defense is, do they score? So I'll, give up the yards. I'm not talking about bend, don't break, but I'm just saying getting off the field, not giving up scores, not giving up, making them drive. So I'm saying somewhere between maybe three for the day.
Right. Yeah.
Right. A little over 3. And you're not giving up scores.
Yeah.
That would be a really good defensive day against that offense that they bring to the table.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things you want them to be like, if it's Jordan or any great scorer, you want them to be volume. You want the volume up.
Yes.
You want it to. Now, obviously, if they're really lighting you up, you don't want the volume to be up. But in theory, you want the volume to be up because, number one, that means they're down.
Right.
And then if the volume's up, that means you're actually doing well, coming, out of your breaks, out of coverage, man-to-man coverage, and making good tackles.
And you're keeping everything in front of you. Right,
Yeah,
exactly
so
right.
you want the volume up and the yards down and below relative numbers, and that's what I think too. I think Colorado's offense, and we'll get into this after this point, reminds me of the early Colts offense where they would hit you with explosive plays, but this is when the Colts really took off, is when they could drive it on you all game long, 80 yards.
Right.
And remember when they were really kind of came on the scene, it was, Edrin, they were hitting you over the top with that Colt route and the over route. Colorado runs a lot about that, or a lot of those routes. I'm going to ask you about that. But I think Colorado's offense, because they don't have Edrin, and obviously,
that's the big
you don't
thing.
have that yet. So it actually makes
and they
them,
don't have who came after Ezra either.
Correct.
Right, exactly.
Right, great. But they don't even have they don't even have the guy before Edrin.
Right.
And so and obviously, before even that guy, they had Marshall Faulk. So I think Colorado can be easier to defend.
Yes.
If you just do the right thing. So we'll dive into that at the 5 o'clock hour. Jay Foreman, Barry Thompson, Austin Norman. One segment to jump into what Colorado does on offense, and what Nebraska could possibly look to do on defense, and get into concepts. And I'm going to ask you about personality. We talked about a little bit yesterday. I used to study the personality of the guys that I would go against, quarterbacks and the coordinators. Talk about how important that is, because they generally tell on themselves within the first couple series. Jay Foreman, BT, Austin Norman. We'll be right back.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Have you ever gotten a car deal so good that you can brag about for decades? This is that deal. The government has given us a $4,000 instant credit on vehicles already at the historically lowest prices. Cars that were over $50,000 just 2 years ago are now selling below $20,000. See the deals here and drive away the car of your dreams at a price you never thought possible. Go to 4000off.com, 400off.com to learn more.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com. Serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook, their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
If you're looking for tickets to the Colorado game, 93.7 The Ticket has you covered. There are 3 different ways to win one of 4 pairs of tickets. 1, like our 93.7 The Ticket page on Facebook and share the post. 2, follow our 93.7 The Ticket account on Twitter and repost the announcement post. 3, come on down to 1040 O Street, buy a drink from the mill, and enter your name in the box. All drawings will be done at noon on Friday. Get entered now.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road. It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a slight chance of showers and storms this morning. Otherwise, probably the mostly sunny skies expected with an afternoon high around 85. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low around 58. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies return. We'll see a high around 77. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clutch for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Football season is here, and that means that fall is here. So start the season off right with Holidays in Bennett with Tailored Life. Make plans to stop by Bennett from September 6th through the 8th for open houses for shops. And on Sunday, enjoy a street market with creative collabs with over 30 vendors, food trucks, and a kids zone. It's Holidays in Bennett from September 6th through the 8th. Make sure to stop and see Tailored Life, Garden, Home, and Gift when you stop by.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
If Nebraska football beats Colorado, it's going to feel a little bit like Nebraska basketball beating Creighton 2 years ago. Point is, Nebraska dictated tempo and style. And I think that is very important in this matchup, and it can be a turning point.
What was different about that team is, like you said, it was the start of overcoming mental prisons in their mind.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? This is Old School on a Thursday. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, my man BT, Barry Thompson, quarterback guru extraordinaire, coming all the way from my favorite place or one of my favorite places, DMV. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andermatt, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. We alluded to it on the quick segment. Some of the things that Colorado does offensively reminds me of what we used to call the Colt route. So it used to be a deep over route. Well, they had multiple layers, but Marvin Harrison used to destroy people on it. And essentially what they did, people, if you could vision this, right? Just I always say, close your eyes and vision this, right?
Yeah.
Little young whippersnapper Jay Foreman, hard play, right? This is what I used to have to deal with, right? And I'll never forget this. Vic Fangio asked, like, the turf at the Colts at the time before they changed to the one they have now. When it gets old, it got really, really hard.
Yeah.
And so when you play against a fast team, because you're not required to wear, knee pads and stuff.
Yeah.
I would wear thigh pads because I was worried about a thigh bruise. But I always play. Colts never cut, so the knees were fine.
Yeah.
And so this is, if you envision what I had to deal with, right? Is I was on the back when you play on the backside of the defense. So they would either they very rarely kept Marvin on the tight end side. So he's always on the
because they had Dallas. They had Dallas. Your attention.
Right. So Dallas, I always say
Jay's loved guarding Dallas.
He's the fastest white dude I see in my life.
I know, but he gets your attention.
Right. Well, he had my attention.
Yeah, I know. And let me interrupt. The thing about covering tight ends that people don't understand is they move at a different speed. And so a lot of times you don't think they're moving as fast as they are. But they're moving, and you think you got him, and all of a sudden he's loose.
Yeah, so they would run hard play action to the open side, and this is when they started to play with Marvin in the slot, right? So to get him a free release, right? As you get older, get him going, he can still run, but corners got bigger. So when they play hard action away from you, I'd have to center field turn for you people, or baseball player people out there, and then try to get him because the ball, him and Peyton it was in between the numbers in the sidelines where it would drop in there.
Yeah.
So then he already had a head start, and I got to meet him at the pass. And at the first 4-5 years they were killing teams.
Yes.
That's right. So one time I actually played it pretty good, broke it up or whatever, but I hit my knee. I hit the ground. And Big Fangio was like, "Why'd you get up?" So I was like, "Well, listen, I just cut off a 4.4, 4.340 at the pass." Right. And I just literally hit concrete.
Yeah.
Don't worry about whether I'm running back to the huddle or not. I'm trying to, but that's what Colorado does. They put you, and we saw it with Jimmy Horn. They just run it differently.
Right.
And I always I get in a little bit of arguments with people when they talk about RPOs. And I was like, man, that's just the option that Coach Osborne used to run. Coach Osborne used to run counter out of shotgun, all that. It's just that Nebraska's offense with people displaced. The passing concepts are extremely more aggressive based on the lack of physicality by rules for the defenses, so you can throw these passes, but the concepts are still the same. Talk about the Colorado concepts and how they put pressure on you. And I always break it in the thirds, or the outer third,
right,
and then the middle third,
right.
But they put pressure on you in their concepts and play calling all game long.
Yeah, you're one of the things that's changing all of this, the time that you have, like some of the crossing routes that they threw in that first, it takes a long time to get there. And it's because of the 3-man rush.
Yeah.
And the willingness of defenses to play an 8-man drop. So how do you counter it? Well, you got to realize I got more time. If you're going to give me more time, I'll take more time. Right. And then you've got a time for a guy coming from an opposite direction while the zone players are kind of focused on their third of what's in front of them. And it's easy to sneak somebody into that space, right? You have the different levels of the defense, right? So you have the safeties when they're playing 3 deep.
Yep. They
drop to their lined up at 12 anyway, and they start to drop. And then the backers drop, and the spaces between the two, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or in, say, Horn's case, if you send them from the right, you send something up to the left like a short out, that safety is going to come down. That opens up a window in the back, right? So it's really you're giving the offense more time to complete passes. And what's happening is the offensive coordinators are saying, okay, if you give me more time, then this is what I'm going to do to distort. And like I said to you, there are a lot of players that you don't want in space.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And they think it's a panacea to play drop 8. The other thing to do with drop 8 is to attack one guy, not the whole coverage, just one guy in the coverage with 2 routes. And they said that was a way to defeat cover 2. Right? They were taking away all the short passes. West Coast was in style. And the guys began to figure out, hey, I'll just attack one guy with 2 routes and we'll make a decision off him. I'll still get my short pass in because everybody else is spread out, right? And then the counter was Tampa to cover the hole.
Yep.
But once you do that, then okay, how's he going to play both? Do you have a?
Yeah.
They don't. Those
Deep
guys
hole
don't.
and short
yeah,
hole,
those
yeah.
guys don't fall off trees,
Yeah.
right? You got one guy who made it work, right? So that's that little cat and mouse game between the offense and defense. But you think about it, you're only going to send 3, and I got 5 to protect, and you're going to give my guys that much time to kind of figure things out. I think the thing that you will see, and this has disappeared too. Remember, old adage: man, run, zone, sit down.
Yeah.
And you've seen half the hits that people complain about. You probably step back. Well, he's running through a zone.
Yeah.
He's going to get hit.
Yeah.
Aren't the quarterbacks smarter than that? No, they're not. But you keep dropping 8, guys are going to get smart about how to manipulate that one defender, how to get into a hole, sit down.
Yep.
You'll start to see that stuff come back.
Yeah, and people don't realize when you drop 8, you have to be, your communication has to be impeccable.
Yes.
Your pre-snap communication, I guess almost snap communication. That means any checks, motions, and all that. And then in the play communication. Now, if you can't hear it because we'll be at Nebraska, but you got to be able to call out flood the zone, whether you're flooding it, whether it's flow. So flooding the zone is 4 to a side. That's what we used to call flood.
Right.
Flow is 3 to a side. Now it could be a strong or weak flood, and they could get to it by having a negative split and bringing him there. So all that stuff, it could be the same play, just window dress. The one thing that I think that I've seen throughout the whole college football, now Alabama does this and Georgia does this really good. Now, granted, they rush the passer, but what they do against teams that have deeper passing routes, so say like, so I know for a fact this is how they defense Lane Kiffin, right? Alabama and Georgia, they'll run a cover 4, but it'll be a combo coverage and it'll be aggressive cover 4. So there's no guesswork. So they'll either, we used to call it knife under a number 1, and that's based off what number 2 does.
Right.
So if number 2 goes to flat, you're either cutting. We used to call it knife.
Right.
You're knifing under number 1.
Yes.
So any inside breaking, anything like that, you're driving from outside in and inside out.
That's what's become quarters coverage.
Yes.
A lot of people will talk about old country cover 4. There was a cut cover 4 that people played for a while, and now they say 4 and they think quarters and 4 is the same. Hardly anybody plays all country cover 4.
Yeah.
It's a 4 shell, but they're playing quarters coverage, reading number 2, and they can split coverage on the other side.
Yep.
I think the thing with zones, if you're going to play them, is at some point it becomes man, right? So you just
it's
can't,
just like basketball.
but you can't just stop. Just like basketball, the zone has to kind of
move,
right? And I think that's the part where people are playing drop 8. They haven't picked up that other part, which is the zone has to move and squeeze relative to the flow.
Right.
And that would take a tremendous amount of communication.
It does, and it takes a lot of people that are all in on doing it, because, and I think when you move the zone and everybody's doing it, you actually eliminate any of those like out of the, I call them backdoor plays. So if you flow everywhere and the guy comes, because you're going to see him.
Yes.
Where you don't see him is you're kind of out there just covering grass, and you're like, man, I'm doing my job, and you miss him.
Or by moving, you're going to cover up the hole that he's going to get into, right? So the play we're talking about against Colorado, where I guess it was Horn, came all the way from the backside, screaming across the end zone. That safety never saw him until it was too late. If the safety had kind of flowed with the drop,
just rolled a little, you run right into him.
Well, he'd run right into him. Yeah,
and that's what's interesting. It's going to be a chess match, but the Colorado concepts is a little bit more detailed than it was last year, because Shermer he's an NFL coordinator,
right?
Obviously, then he was at Vanderbilt, I think, and then obviously he was at Colorado last year, so he understands how to read defenses and defenders. That's where the chess match is going to come. And I want to ask you about what I talked about with DP a little bit, but more importantly, with you being an offensive coordinator. And I used to do this, and I learned this from John Holisek, who was a veteran. He taught me this, is looking at who's calling the plays. So that means whether it's the head coach, obviously, on down to the coordinator, for in my case, be offensive coordinator, potentially quarterback coach.
Right.
Because sometimes in the NFL, there's offensive coordinators, but actually the quarterback coach is the passing game coordinator or whatever. Right. And then also you have to look at who's throwing the ball.
Yes.
Talk about how important that is, because as we just talked about, whether we're flooding the zone as a defense versus letting the offense flood the zone, and we stand there and let them get the numbers, because it comes in a numbers game. Talk about how important it is to know all those three things about who's calling it, who's running it, that help you cheat and make a huge play based on just on the personality. Ain't got nothing to do with athletic ability or anything.
Yeah.
All on the personality.
Yeah, so lot there, Jay. So from offensive standpoint, so you're learning everything, right? As a quarterback. Yes, you can learn about defense, blah, blah, blah. We talked about learning defenders and all that stuff. But ultimately, there's the play and there's the play caller.
Right.
And so if you're really going to be a good quarterback, you got to understand the play caller.
Right.
Peyton understood Tom Moore. Tom Moore understood him. Those two things, Sean Payton and Drew Brees, you have Brady and whoever he worked with.
Yeah.
There was an so there are other plays and there's a play caller. That's what you're getting at. Now, from a defensive standpoint or offensive standpoint, I also have to understand the coordinator I'm playing against.
Right.
What does he like to do? Right. How does he handle situations? We're all creatures of habit, right? And so that's important from an offense. I played defense in college, and so I'm like you. I would watch body language of players, right? Especially receivers coming out of the huddle. I would get clips of I just want to see this guy come from the huddle. I got my tendencies. I got all that stuff. Okay, that's good. But I want to see him come from you can start to tell a lot about a person, right? Just like you're talking about the personality of a quarterback. How does he respond?
Right.
Right. Is this a guy that slumps his shoulders?
Yeah.
Is this a guy that doesn't give an F and he's going to come back, give me the ball again? In my world, I call that pace. Play after critical error.
Right.
Right. You made a mistake. So what? What happens next? Who are you when I give you the ball again? That's important. That's what you're talking about.
Right.
Does he kind of crumble? Does he lose confidence? If you were playing against what's my guy from FSU?
Yeah.
You would have been wolfing at him all
Oh,
night.
yeah.
And Jay, I would have been too.
Right. Yeah.
Right. You ain't got nothing
yeah.
tonight. You might as well pack it. I don't know why you're throwing it. You know, you and I would have been there like wolfing up because we would have seen that he just didn't have it that night, and we weren't going to let him have it at all. Right.
Right.
I just said to receiver, why you running the route? You know it ain't going to get it to you.
Yeah. You wasting your time. You can go jog outside.
Yeah. So that personality part, you're right. That's that extra level of understanding your opponent, which is now we're finally getting to it. Right. That is the essence. Can you get so far in understanding your game that you actually take time to understand your opponent?
Right.
Right.
And that's the next level thinking. The one thing I used to always, we used to always laugh about. So when we were my last year in Buffalo, Greg Williams was there, and he's a Buddy Ryan disciple, or 46.
A maniac.
Maniac. Yeah. Greg had I will tell you this one side note about Greg. He had a method to his madness, but it took 85 million years to get to London.
Long meetings.
Yeah, extremely difficult coverages, complex. But once the light came on, then it shined bright.
Right.
He had at this time, he's a really good coordinator / defensive back coach now named Jerry Gray, who was a great corner at the University
Detroit.
Did he play Detroit? He played. No, that's the kick return. He played with the Rams.
Okay.
He was from 2 times. He says he was 2 times All-American at Texas. I think he was first, second round pick with the Rams. I used to always mess with him because I was like, dude, I saw Jerry Rice beat you every time. But Jerry was good. But he was a young coordinator.
Right.
When he got upset or was frustrated with say we didn't tackle well, say we busted a cover, whatever, he would go to Spike 40.
Really, that was it.
Yeah, you could just tell. I didn't have to look over that.
Right, you knew it was
I could just look at. He would do this, and he would Spike 40. That means we're going to get the quarterback.
Yes.
Now the concept behind that. Now listen, it worked when we played against like Jay Fiedler and all them.
Right.
You do that against Peyton Manning.
Right.
Well, then he ran a hitch and go against my man Nate Clements. Now the first time we did it, Nate Clements sat on it, pick 6.
Right.
Came the next couple of weeks, 350 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
And he going right at him. The one thing that's interesting about what Jerry Gray is, once I learned his personality, it actually helped me learn the defense.
Yes.
Then it allowed me to learn offenses better.
Yes.
Based on that, it's an interesting thing, and it's obviously I think when you look at the evolution of somebody's career, like say you come in and play as a freshman, you have success that's on the field, and it's like I'm just doing my job. I'm a great individual player, right? Like a receiver. Okay, I can get open and this, and this. Then they might add blocking.
Right.
But then once you understand whoever the coordinator is, the concepts, then the defense, then the players, why they're playing it, and why you're calling plays if you have a really in-tune coordinator. This is just a receiver. Then you go to stupid level.
Yeah.
Right.
Now and it explains a lot of times that when the combine season comes around, and I have young players and they're remarking about the times, just like everybody does. I always pull them aside. I said, "What was the age of the players in the AFC and NFC championship the year where they were older?" I said, "Were any of those guys from last combine, were they on the teams?" I said, "No, I don't really remember. I don't really remember." I said, "Yeah, exactly right." I said, "So how is that? You got these guys that can run a 3.940 and jump 40 feet.
Right.
How is it that guys 33, 34, 35 are winning championships?" And they stopped to think. I said, "Because they know how to play."
Yeah.
And I said, as you go along, you can do these individual things, but you got to continually understand how to play.
Right.
Right. And I tell them, as a quarterback, it's one of the most unique jobs because it's the only job that as you get better at it, the job becomes bigger.
Right.
Right. The things that we're talking about goes beyond, hey, I know where everybody's lining up, goes beyond, I understand this defense, right? Goes beyond the down and distance thing. It goes beyond that, right?
Right.
Now we're studying defenders and what their tendencies are. Goes beyond, now I'm understanding what my coordinator, how his philosophy goes beyond. Now I'm looking at the defensive coordinator, what his philosophy, and I'm putting it all in the context to go out and play a football game.
Right. Yeah. It's the evolution of the mind, which leads to the production on the field is huge. Is going to pay off for somebody this weekend and throughout the rest of the season. We're going to take a quick break, come back. We're going to talk a little bit, Dylan Raiola, the Huskers, what you saw out of him and what you expect him to do if you were coaching a young 18-year-old, you got to be 18, 19 years old, phenom in his first big game. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, my man Barry Thompson. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through September 10th is spend $50, get 2 sirloins free, limit of 4. Also, 15% off chocolate. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings & Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings & Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
If you're looking for tickets to the Colorado game, 93.7 The Ticket has you covered. There are 3 different ways to win one of 4 pairs of tickets. 1, like our 93.7 The Ticket page on Facebook and share the post. 2, follow our 93.7 The Ticket account on Twitter and repost the announcement post. 3, come on down to 1040 O Street, buy a drink from the mill, and enter your name in the box. All drawings will be done at noon on Friday. Get entered now. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
For 15 years, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering you 50% off our next 10-week challenge beginning September 14th. That's 10 weeks of fun group fitness classes and individualized coaching for half off. And at the end of the 10 weeks, someone's walking away with $1,000 for the best transformation. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine. And check us out online at fxblincoln.com.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Fall is the perfect time to work on outdoor projects. Whether you plan to install a fence or add shrubs to your landscape, don't risk an injury by hitting a buried power line. Always call 811 before you dig.
Riddle's Jewelry is excited to be celebrating 65 years. 65 years of so many incredible memories celebrating with each of your special moments. In celebration of the 65th Riddle's Jewelry anniversary, we will be offering up to 40% off all engagement rings and all diamond fashion jewelry. The excitement doesn't stop there. Riddle's Jewelry is also offering 18 months, 0% interest and $0 down financing on all qualifying purchases. Riddle's Jewelry has always been known for incredible customer service, one of the largest selections of engagement rings, and don't forget about the on-site jeweler. Come celebrate with us at Riddle's Jewelry, your one-stop diamond shop with exclusive Levian jewelry, Pandora Charm jewelry, and more. All at Riddle's inside Gateway Mall.
Football season is here, and that means that fall is here. So start the season off right with Holidays in Bennett with Tailored Life. Make plans to stop by Bennett from September 6th through the 8th for open houses for shops. And on Sunday, enjoy a street market with creative collabs with over 30 vendors, food trucks, and a kids zone. It's Holidays in Bennett from September 6th through the 8th. Make sure to stop and see Tailored Life, Garden, Home, and Gift when you stop by.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, DP, and DT. Or BT, Barry Thompson, excuse me. We're up in here talking a little concepts. Barry, I'm going to ask you, since you guys are teammates in high school, so just envision you guys are playing a modern day high school football. What route would you send DP on? What was his best route?
Listen, the creative guy that DP is.
Yeah.
We would be
option route
all day long.
Oh yeah.
But I would have a hard time saying DP. I need the short option route. No, he'd be like, no, deep option. Option.
Is that true, DP?
Let me
He knows it's true. He knows it's
true.
my job was to run whatever Barry needed me to run to get open.
Yeah.
No, like because the reality, like I mean, Barry was the guy.
Yeah.
Right. There was no
Jay,
Shador.
when we got off the bus. Hey, B, I just want you to know I'm open.
I'm
We
open.
hadn't even started yet.
I'm
We hadn't
open.
even warmed up. I
I'm
just want you to
open.
know I'm open.
I'm open.
I got
Tuesday.
it. Yeah.
Tuesday. Hey, I'm going to be open on
I'm
Friday.
gonna be open.
I just want you to know.
I'm gonna be open.
Like
The reason-
7-Eleven, baby, I'm open.
Yeah, the reason why I love kickoff so much is I knew I was getting the ball.
No, but in all seriousness, that would be dangerous.
Let me ask you.
If we threw then like they throw it now.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't. I'm not sure I'd be sitting here.
Where would you be at?
Oh,
in Canton?
Yeah, like Barry. If Barry could throw as much as we would have had the ability. I mean, one, we had a ton of weapons.
Yeah, different game.
Right?
Game.
But it is a different game now.
Yeah. Oh, well, of course. Yeah. And then DP, we wanted to ask you. We got Ryan P coming in here, and he says, "How are we going to defend Jimmy Horn and Travis Hunter?"
We talked about the other day defending the middle first. If you can keep them out of the middle of the field where things break down, if I can keep them in the outer third as that kind of receiver, while it is my workspace, it's also what limits me. If you get me a linebacker chasing me with 6 yard space, I'm a problem.
Yeah.
So outer third, strong leverage. The spacing is important, but it's also I'm getting mine, so you better make sure nobody else gets theirs. Like I'm going to get mine. Just make sure that mine isn't fatal. Make sure that Horn, one, we get him to the turf. You have to get them to the turf, and you have to send numbers out of them in the turf. I'm gonna cap them. I'm gonna keep them capped. I'm sorry, your other dudes are gonna have to do work. And if they're better, if your number 3 and 4 talent are better than my 5 and 6 tacklers, good luck. But I'm taking my 4 best tacklers, and I'm gonna lean on those 2. I'm gonna lean on Horn. I'm gonna lean on Hunter, and I'm gonna make Shador have to stand there. Like listen, he got to take shots. He got to take a beating.
Yeah.
He got to take a beating.
Yeah, if you do that, you're gonna have to heat up some blitzes though. Because I mean, the thing about him that's dangerous is that he's just accurate, dude. Like you gotta have to. I think, in particular, against those two, you just the biggest thing when you play against like next level players is you got to be okay with understand they're next level players.
Yeah.
The most important thing is to make sure everybody knows what the heck they're doing at all times. And that means plan A and plan B. That means the base defense or whatever it's called and the checks. You better know down and distance. You better know plays, not players when it comes to like crucial times. And then the most important thing, you just got to tackle.
Yeah.
If you're out there, shooting your shot, diving and trying to shoot and make a tackle and he's 3 yards away, you're just wasting your time. You better try to rally and just hold him until somebody else comes there. I think that's the biggest thing is doing those things and you'll be just fine. You got to understand these dudes are going to make plays. Like if you're a fan, you show up and expect them to have 0 yards, you wasting your time. You need to give away your ticket and then go and then invest in the new life water that everybody can live forever. And then that'll see how that works out for you. So we got a question here from Ben. He just coming straight. Ben just coming off the top rope. He says, if U does, that means if Colorado, we're just deciphering this. I don't know if he was a voice text. If Colorado primarily plays man-to-man coverage, pretty much doesn't mean that they're too dumb to play zone. Based on, again, what we talked yesterday is they wanted North Dakota State to throw the ball, and they felt like we just sell out against the run, and they got to go man-to-man. But does that mean they're too dumb to play zone?
Barry?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's just what they believe they're good at. I mean, that's what you tend to do defensively, what you're good at, and then what you think you can take away from somebody, right? The whole object of playing defense is to look at it and say, you guys do this well, we're going to take that away. Go play left-handed. And the problem is that Colorado, I know we're talking about their defense, but Colorado has a left and a right hand. A lot of teams don't.
Yeah. And I think for any coordinator, you're going to curtail your game plan. Number one, who's healthy, right? I mean, if you don't got Emmitt Smith, you can't run the ball behind that Dallas offensive line. You got to throw it, right? You got to heat up Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper. And then also based on what the opponent does or doesn't do well. I mean, it's very
it's simple, but it's not easy.
It's very simple,
we
but it's
also
hard.
don't know. We have a very short resume for these two teams as they come in Saturday. We have one game against a very finite opponent.
Yeah,
like North Dakota State is a different. That's not the appropriate scouting report for a lot of teams that Colorado is going to play against, and certainly UTEP is not the visual resume you want to take against Dylan Raiola and this offense or Tony White's defense, because they were limited in what they could do.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I think you have more of a handle on Colorado based on the coordinator was there last year. Travis Hunter been Travis Hunter since the day he's been born. Same with Shedeur and Horn. I think Horn has got significantly better, and I think they've spent the offseason trying to figure out how to, elevate their skill set. Potentially, you don't know about Colorado's defensive coordinator. You have to go back and look at him. But you don't have a lot of film. And then also the great thing for Nebraska is you don't have any background on this Nebraska offense. You watched Nebraska last year, then I can almost guarantee Colorado's going to lose, because it's a totally you got a quarterback to play pitch and catch,
right?
And so that is a total different. You play call different, you block different, you run block different. So it's going to come. I think the first two series each. So that's first 4 series without a ton of turnovers. They're going to feel it out, and if somebody breaks first, then it's going to start fast, and then I think you're going to get in a lull in the middle of the game,
right?
And then it's going to heat up at the end.
Okay,
and it's
I mean, that's what good contests are. That's a competitive ball game. It happens that way, right?
Right.
No matter which way you want to swing the door.
It's a long Saturday night's a long night.
Yeah, it's a long. And Jay, and just to get off topic, a lot of times talking deeply about this, but talk about Dylan. This is a long day to be able to sustain focus and energy. You walk somebody through, so they're up around 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, whatever normally you get up. Yeah.
Right, and the morning. So we're talking about a nighttime game. Get to the stadium, leave if they're parked somewhere else, they're getting there at about 3, 4 o'clock. That's the last meal. You're in, you're taped, you're out in the stadium, and then you're talking about 11 o'clock. So say from 5 to 5:30 to about 11 o'clock, right? That I may have to deliver my best performance in that 10 to 11 o'clock hour, right? That's 5 hours after I've hit the stadium. It's what type of day now? We're into a 16-hour day, right? And I'm supposed to be at peak performance during that period of time, along with my buddies, right? And that's separate from what the weather is, the conditions,
the crowd,
and controlling my adrenaline and everything else.
Yeah.
And then you look at going through after that, win or lose. He's got the press on the field. He's got the local guys there. You have the NCAA mandatory stuff.
Sure.
And you're talking maybe 1 o'clock to 1:30 in the morning. He can walk out of Memorial Stadium. And all players, but the quarterback can walk out of 1:30 in a morning that start at 7:30 and hit peak adrenaline at like 6:30, 6:15 with 90,000 people screaming, delivering a peak performance between 10 and 11 and having enough energy to smile and face, win or lose, and walk out the building 1:30 and maybe get to say hi to mom and dad and whoever Sweet Susie is, and then, get up and go to class. So it encompasses a lot for when you watch these guys and you see a good performance, a good competitive game. Almost all the players have gone through that cycle. You don't think about it a lot,
right? Yeah,
but it is a long day and sustaining energy. So if you see somebody sneaking a hot dog or a protein bar on the sideline, don't make fun. He hadn't eaten since 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean it's a routine. I mean, athletes are generally creatures of habit, routine. The one thing I think helps him, and I come from this, is that he's been around it.
Yes.
He's been around. Yeah. This type of arena, so that's why I think he's at least has shown last weekend and I assume this weekend, and in particular, I think I know he will, is be able to function in that type of environment. And the biggest thing that and it does take a little while how to learn to do it.
It does.
And it also depends whether you're home or away too.
Yes.
It just because of familiar, you look out of your hotel, you're used to seeing the same places versus some other places you can get distracted. Say when we went up and played Washington, a lot of the young guys of just being up there in Seattle was, it's a lot different than going to Kansas State or something. So you got to reel those guys in. That's where your leadership needs to come in. But then also it's okay not being 100% intense at 3.
Yes.
When you when you know what I'm saying, you almost have to tell yourself when that last pad is strapped, or whatever your last thing you do.
Right.
That's when it goes.
Right.
And then there's no turning back.
And that's for a defensive player.
Yeah.
But an offensive player, it's probably a little bit later.
Yeah.
He has to wait until that 7:15, 7:20 mark.
Yeah, before kickoff.
Right. And it's right as kickoff. Okay,
Can't
now
throw yourself out at
right.
4:30.
You cannot do that.
You cannot
right?
throw yourself out.
And you said it takes a while to learn how to do that. When you're away, I think the things that kind of get you through when you're at home is you do have a crowd that's behind you. They're really rooting for you to.
Yeah.
That's like the marathons, when the people are running, they're like, hey, give them water, right?
Yeah.
But you're on the road, they don't have that. You're by that water station, they're kicking the water bottle off the side. It's like they turn their back on you. Yeah. And you lose that little bit of energy, that boost.
Yeah,
that
the
you
extra
get
guaranteed
dig
juice.
down,
And
right?
the 3 points that they give you home field advantage.
And people may say, well, you're playing, you should do that anyway, but we're also human. That's what I'm trying to point out about this.
We didn't even talk
I'm just
on
saying,
game day.
I'm just saying that's
I think about it.
Right.
I think about even as players and coaches, we really didn't talk much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always say you got to be respectful of how guys, and I learned this in the pros, how some guys get ready for a game.
Yes.
There's some guys that are, they like, they'll have in this case, they got like a speaker and they like that. Or some guys don't want any music. Some guys want to be in the training room. Like in particular, like I remember I played with Bruce Smith for 2 years, right? And in the second year, I played a lot with him, because I was out there starting. I didn't see him until we went out to warm-ups.
Is that right?
I mean, now he had his routine.
Right.
But like when he got ready, he was off with Bud and all those guys down there in the equipment room. And he got dressed, and so then he got into his zone that way versus, like Reuben Brown, I mean, he would like, he used to take this stuff I think called like Up Your Gas or something, or like a Federer or something. And and I will tell you, it worked. Now I don't know if it's gonna be like mesothelioma or something like if you took up your gas or something. But listen,
have you ever taken up your gas?
Like
2:30 in the morning.
Remember when we used to drop it underneath your tongue and said it would go? He would take that stuff, and he kept his sunglasses on all the time. But then once he got and he would be like a berserk, and then you got some guys just go out there and play. Like we had this one guy, I was like, man, you just went through a car wash and put your uniform on.
Right.
He'd be on the last bus,
right,
last guy off.
Yeah.
He wore generally the same thing. He wears if he wore a suit, cowboy boots, always suit. Like the bag wasn't even a backpack. I don't know what he got. It was like a little toiletry bag. Get off. Okay.
It was a man purse.
Yeah, it was a man purse. It was a little fanny pack.
Is that right?
Listen, he would go right in there, take his clothes off, hang them up, put all the stuff like pants and stuff on, pads on, and he wore gloves, and he wouldn't get his wrist tape. So he wore gloves, put a wristband on, and got like tape around his wrist.
Right.
No ankle tape, nothing. Plain socks.
Right.
Shoes. Let's hit it.
Let's hit it.
Yeah.
And there's other guys who'll start on Saturday.
Yeah.
Right. They'll clear the house on Saturday. They don't want to talk to anybody, and they start that process rolling into Sunday. And then of course it changes the longer that you play, right?
Right.
Yeah,
because you got to add or subtract some stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, and it also changes based on the team too, because it just depends on like how early the buses leave. Like quarterbacks generally go over with the equipment guys; they're over there early. And before we go to break, I'll tell you the most interesting like pre-game. It was a boxing match. I went down and watched Sugar Shane Mosley, and so Ron Merkerson, who played at Colorado, oddly enough, Ron played at Colorado. His dad was like a trainer, boxing trainer. And so we went down. It was in Vegas, and it was me and a couple teammates, and we met him down there. And They're like, hey, you want to go up to, Sugar Shane Mosley at his suite? We walk in there and it was completely dark.
Okay.
Like I'm talking about pitch dark.
Right.
And he just would, and you could talk to him, but he wanted to be completely still.
Right.
No TV, no nothing.
Right.
And everybody, it was weirdest thing ever. Like he couldn't see you,
Yeah.
but he would just be there because that's how he got focused. And he did that for like 8 hours for 3 days straight leading up before he fought that night.
Wow.
For 8 hours straight. Now he would eat and stuff like that. He wasn't the Aaron Rodgers complete darkness, but he wanted complete. He just kind of, I think he was going through the, the boxing match, but we didn't walk in there. I was excited to meet him. You know what I mean? I'm trying to see,
like where
is he? I just stayed there. I was like, I can see the light from the hotel room. I was like, you know what, man, that's cool. Let him do his thing. I don't need him to trip out there and start giving me some body blows. But it'll be interesting to see how guys handle. I think this team is a veteran team, can handle it. And the crowd, the thing about crowd noise is this before we go to break. The crowd is only as loud as you let them be. Defensively,
yes.
If you play good. Offensively, you play well. Mm-hmm. And then the defense is playing well. They'll be crazy. Yeah, and you got a great opportunity here. So, anyways, it's Barry Thompson, DP, Jay Foreman, Austin, Old School. Quick break, and we'll put a bow on this Thursday.
You're listening to Old School with DP and Jay. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
If you're looking for tickets to the Colorado game, 93.7 The Ticket has you covered. There are 3 different ways to win one of 4 pairs of tickets. 1, like our 93.7 The Ticket page on Facebook and share the post. 2, follow our 93.7 The Ticket account on Twitter and repost the announcement post. 3, come on down to 1040 O Street, buy a drink from the mill, and enter your name in the box. All drawings will be done at noon on Friday. Get entered now.
Fall is the perfect time to work on outdoor projects. Whether you plan to install a fence or add shrubs to your landscape, don't risk an injury by hitting a buried power line. Always call 811 before you dig.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Truck Month is back. We have absolutely gigantic savings right now at Koppel. They are offering $12,500 off on select new pickups. That is not a mistake. You heard right. $12,500 off list price right now on select new pickups. Those discounted units, though, will not last long. These are all manager specials. You have to come in now, so hurry in down 144th Street or shop online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Stock number G35609. 93 must trade.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting book. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Riddle's Jewelry is excited to be celebrating 65 years. 65 years of so many incredible memories celebrating with each of your special moments. In celebration of the 65th Riddle's Jewelry anniversary, we will be offering up to 40% off all engagement rings and all diamond fashion jewelry. The excitement doesn't stop there. Riddle's Jewelry is also offering 18 months, 0% interest and $0 down financing on all qualifying purchases. Riddle's Jewelry has always been known for incredible customer service, one of the largest selections of engagement rings, and don't forget about the on-site jeweler. Come celebrate with us at Riddle's Jewelry, your one-stop diamond shop with exclusive Levian jewelry, Pandora Charm jewelry, and more. All at Riddle's inside Gateway Mall.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. Second half today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds. 4 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs. Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 27th through the 29th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Anyways, last segment, Thursday, Jay Foreman, Barry Thompson, quarterback guru extraordinaire, DP, Austin Orman, live, 1040 O Street. I always say the sports radio mecca of the state of Nebraska and the great capital city of Lincoln. Real quick, what's your prediction for Saturday? The only game going. We don't got to worry about anything. We ain't worry about Michigan playing.
You can ask Barry. You know, I don't.
Pain.
No.
What do you think, Barry? Barry, what do you expect?
Here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping for a competitive game, kind of like we talked about.
Right.
I hope, and I really think everybody deserves to see this go down to the fourth quarter. Kind of like you talked about. Somebody gets ahead. Somebody makes an adjustment. We're close at halftime. Come out third. Everybody knows what everybody's doing. Keeping guys in front, making first downs, not making dumb mistakes, not turning over the ball, and take this thing into the fourth quarter and let it go. That's what I'm hoping for. I'll let you guys do the analysis. That's what I'd like to see. I think this game is capable of being that type of game.
Yeah, it's capable. You know, the great thing about I think this game has the capability, like I said, to go 3 different ways. It could be a shootout where you just both quarterbacks are just going at it. You know what I mean? It could be like I call a white knuckle game where it's back and forth, and and then it comes down to the very last drive or two. And then I think, and oddly enough, it could be a defensive battle. It could be a defensive battle because if somehow Colorado is able to play well up front, and then they feel like they can go man to man. Same thing with Nebraska, plays well, tackles well, volume, passing, meaning that you're just throwing a whole bunch of 5-yard hitches and stuff like that, but you're still sitting on the sideline. Well, then now the game's like 21-17. That to me, that's in this day and age of college football, that's a defensive battle.
I got you.
That was that was a okay game when we played. It was like you're getting a whole bunch of minuses. So, it's just gonna come down to running, blocking, and tackling, and who's gonna step up to the moment.
Isn't that crazy?
You ain't gonna.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I mean
it ain't changed.
Right? Well, you're exactly right.
I kind of want it to come down to the final 2 drives where both young quarterbacks get an opportunity to showcase. Both defenses get forced to stand up, and the coaches have to actually engage. The coaches actually there has to be some coaching friction at some point during this thing. I want the book. I want 2 drives where they both make throws for one, in my head, they're both going to succeed, and whoever has the ball last wins it.
Yeah.
But the reality is they're both going to make plays down the stretch that kind of tell the story of the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's been interesting. As long as you can stay away from turnovers and penalties, you have a chance at that type of game.
Yeah, we don't want to know who the refs are. Go look at that. Yeah, we don't know the refs are. Anyways, got my man coming in, TD, Troy Dumas, my mentor. We're going to put a bow on this bad boy. See my man, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, DP, Barry Thompson. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
Have you been told by your physician that your testosterone level is fine, but you don't feel fine? Get a second opinion. If your testosterone level is 200, 350, even 500, and you still have symptoms, come to Limitless Male. We treat the person and the symptoms, not the number. Our mission is for you to feel optimal again. So if you're tired all the time, no energy, brain fog, muscle loss, nothing left in the tank, get your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through September 10th is spend $50, get 2 sirloins free, limit of 4. Also, 15% off chocolate. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.